Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about the criminal psychology niche, and in particular, just like the sort of true crime interrogation niche that is interrogation. Well, yeah, I said that right, which is absolutely popping off right now. Um, just so many views going around, so much money going around, and I want to sort of look into this niche a little bit more. Why is this occurring? And also look into the floppers. Why are people not reaping the benefits if they're trying to of this particular niche? So I think the first thing is sort of, where did this niche come from, right? So everybody says, JCS, and I think that is true to an extent. I do think that JCS is the sort of originator of this true crime interrogation niche, and it sort of comes from this really cool concept that they thought up, which is to analyze interrogation based on the psychology behind the interrogation. That's really cool. So whoever JCS was originally starting with their Chris Watts video, they may have had other videos, but I think this was probably the first ones. First of all, prolific case, sort of a trend jack, but second of all, they have these long videos, 20 minutes for two parts, in which they're breaking down the psychology. So they're pausing in between, and they're showing, as you can see, different things. They're also showing like the duration. All of it is just this very technical but really compelling stuff, and I think that is what sort of sparked it. You could also tell that things are very weirdly tested in the first couple. So here we have this. I believe these two are probably just auto framed stills. And the editing on here is very, very simple. Here we have, I don't know who this one as well. Like, what in the world were they thinking making these? Now obviously they have 18 mil and 7 mil respectively, and I don't think they are the worst thumbnails in the world, but they're definitely not effective. Then we have two that I think are just stills, and then we have this one, which looks like some sort of professionally made thumbnail. Now this is probably, they were just testing to see how a like professionally made thumbnail would work, and then maybe they were like, I don't really care, and they went back to this is just a still. Now they started doing things like, this is probably set like that. This one right here is created. This is set like that, and then this one's obviously set like that. So they blurred his face. They did a little arrow pointing to Jeff, and this one is purposely made like that. This one is of these, besides these two, is one of their most viewed. And I guess when they saw that, they must have thought, that's a good idea, and they started to really bump up the views. I think the videos got a bit longer. So like this video is 30 minutes or 13 minutes, and then there's something about Casey, which is an hour long. And yeah, from this point on, there's no more auto-generated thumbnails, and these are really interesting. So Jennifer's solution, but what happens to me, in quotes, right? This is a mid-action thumbnail. This one's falsely accused, so it's mid-action, and it's sort of giving context to this. All my ex-boyfriends are still alive. This is sort of a curiosity gap. She looks kind of creepy. What's going on here? This one is his banger. This one is his 64 miller, and what pretending to be crazy looks like. It's this killer. A lot of people know this guy. This is I can't think of the name now. I don't remember the name, but this is the Parkland shooter. I know it's the Parkland shooter, and it's just crazy curiosity got very interesting. Perfectly explains it, and then it's an hour long of just compelling content. This is just a very model video, and honestly, like, you wouldn't expect this to do as well as it did, but just it had all of the things coming together at the right time. It had all the elements. So this is sort of where this concept originated from. And again, these videos, I believe these videos they performed pretty well for their beginning stages. I actually remember watching these videos about 4 years ago when this case occurred, and I think a reason this case occurred is because it was sort of a trend jack. So this was sort of, Chris Watts was in the news. He had killed, it was some true crime, he had like killed his family or something. So people were looking up Chris Watts. This guy does sort of analysis of the behavior of these criminals. So there's that. Now, where does this sort of style of content originate from? I honestly think that this sort of style probably originated just from like analyses type things. Like this is really just a guy in his room sort of analyzing this. Now I believe that it's run by a person named True Crime like Weirdo or something. But
The drama.
gee, but either yeah, True Crime Loser. I think either they write the scripts for that or it's something. But like this guy obviously, if he is behind the channel, is just very interested in crime. And that's sort of the deal is like this person since 4 years ago has just been making these really weird videos documenting true crime. And if they did in fact make this JCS channel, that's sort of where this originated from. Now, what this niche is sort of drawing inspiration from, I think, as a whole, is probably these more video essay type videos, such as Let Me Know, right? So we have these sort of adjacent to true crime, like the Battle of Los Angeles. This is an internet mystery. Um, the Legend of the Bermuda Triangle, and even recently, like the Search for DB Cooper, which is true crime, or Jack the Ripper, which is true crime. But even like the vanishing of Flight 370. Um, a lot of inspiration gets drawn from this. For instance, just like the way you have this like nice, it's like sort of solid colors, and you have these animations on screen that are very smooth. They're keyframed easily. Obviously, nobody is reaching the level of quality that Let Me Know is reaching, but just the sort of style and video essay format, a lot of information is being drawn from Let Me Know, who in fact was a sort of originator to this type of content. They had started this sort of style yeah, like almost a decade ago with their true or top 10 facts sort of content. So over a decade ago. Now the JCS and I think adjacent people definitely drew from this, but really I think what JCS is doing right here has nothing to do. But it's a proof of marketing, and I think that's the biggest thing that sort of pushes this forward is this proof of marketing. So it's something similar that we've seen in a lot of niches. For instance, in the Minecraft niche, if I were to show like with Afmal, right? We have this Minecraft YouTuber Afmal making these role play videos, for instance, using hacks to cheat in Minecraft. And as you can see, they're cinematic. And this is a role play video, but this packaging did very well. Now, if we go to somebody like Nico, who is a recent sort of Afmal type creator, and we go to his popular videos, he has a very similar video here, but it's very different. So this is first person, like him playing a mini game with his friends. This is very different content, but it's using similar packaging. I believe they do have a thumbnail or something like that that is very similar. It might be on Cash's channel, but this is sort of a thing of proof of marketing, but you're switching up the content itself. Yeah, here we go. So like this video is almost exactly the same thing, 5 million views. This is just like a mini gameplay. This has nothing to do with role play, but it's a proof of marketing, and that's the biggest thing. So this sort of proof of marketing, I believe, is the biggest thing that came from the JCS niche. And people will say JCS originated this content, just the way people may say like Afmal originated that content, but the content's very different. Um, the marketing though is very similar because it's a proof of concept of marketing, and then if you can make a video that maintains attention based on that marketing, then you're golden, and that's the thing. So we have these just insane outlier views across this channel. Literally every single video is over 5 million views. That's ridiculous. And the channel has 400 million almost. They have a very good sub to view, by the way, which is another great sign that people are liking the freshness of the content. So we sort of evolve. So what occurred really is, if you look, JCS just was not outputting the content at a quick enough pace. He got for the 4 years ago, he got 2 videos out in 1 year, and then we did get a good stretch of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 videos out in a year, which is great. That's again though it's less than monthly. It's not even monthly. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos out in a year. Very, very slow. And this year we've gotten 3 videos out. Um, so really very slow content, and this is creating these content gaps, right? So we have these giant holes where it's like viewers obviously wants this content. Like these videos were getting tens of millions of views 2 3 years ago, and viewers really wanted this content. This was the only guy really making this style of marketing that was working, and this style of interrogation videos that was working. um Now when this content gap started to form, there were some sort of cash cow spin-offs that began doing very, very well. So we have Explore With Us. I think that is a very, very big one of the first ones, right? So if we go to their oldest upload, their channel actually started as like exploring abandoned BS or whatever, but it sort of morphed, right? So they did abandoned stuff, then they started talking about like Area 51 stuff. By the way, doing great views. Um, and then they must have seen that like this sort of like criminal abandoned whatever was doing well, uh and so they started doing these documentaries on these disappearances that are very adjacent to this content, sort of mixed in. In fact, it looks as if like what happened to Tyler Stice, mysteriously disappeared in the woods. It looks like maybe they were actually interviewing or researching what happened to this person in real life. So this is their own. They're not. There's no interrogation. This is no documentary. This is like what happened to Tyler Stice. We're gonna go out in the woods and find evidence. Um, so really, this became just an exploration channel, and it started morphing into this true crime stuff as people started figuring out that it actually did well. So like they started doing this stuff. Unsolved, a disturbing case of Nicholas. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. These YouTubers disappeared, and they started doing good views. And I guess they realized, okay, this is much easier than going outside in the middle of the desert for this content. So they started doing that. They started completely morphing into, and this is like, I think 2 parts to a series. Actually, maybe not. Who knows? Maybe they just knew that it did well. This is, again, 4 years ago. So this is very adjacent. This is true crime. Also, whatever is going on here, how much does it actually make? I think it's this girl and this guy that run the channel, but and the girl is just for chick bait, just for female appeal. But again, they're morphing their content, they're testing. What even would like see the Burning Man, but most of it's this true crime thing. It seems like 3 years ago they got their little dog logo thing. And as you can see, like we do have some outliers, like this one that looks a little more interrogation-y sort of content looking. 1 million views. And I think what is this? Who knows? But and then this is Corey X Kenshin. He didn't disappear, but so this is more of like a YouTuber documentary they were doing, but a lot of it was true crime. And I think slowly they must have tested something adjacent to JCS. So that's getting very obvious that like very consistent content, right? And it's doing all right. It's doing pretty good of this sort of documentary stuff. Then we get into, let's see, one of their first sort of interview or interrogation type videos. Let's find the first one. It'll be coming up very, very soon. Here we go. This is their first one. So this must have been an interrogation video. And so they sort of spun off of the JCS style content. Like it's very similar. And now this did 6 million views, which was probably like the most views they had gotten in years. So obviously an outlier. Now, what I want to think is that this didn't initially get 6 million views. I mean, this is still getting 68 views an hour. I think what this did is it got an outlier amount of views after these couple of videos. It might have even underperformed. So they went back to whatever this is, right? And then they realized, oh, wait, this is doing well. So they made a second one when the detective realizes the suspect is dying. Great concept. And we'll get into, remember, that concept for later. But this is a very good concept. 2 million views, outlier. Now, here's a weird outlier. We have an 11 mil view video YouTube turned mass murderer. Now I think that this pulled really well because of the concept. Like a YouTuber turned mass murderer, that's very intriguing, especially for 2 years ago, and it's had a long time to garner these views. It's still getting 100 views an hour, so almost 200. So it must be a good concept, and I think that's what carried this. Though it is still sort of more adjacent to this, but again, this is also very difficult or very different. I sorry. This one has the classic JCS text, 5.7 million, big outlier, and them going to their older style right here, it only got 1 million. So like this is an outlier in terms of low views. Even though 1 million is very good, you can just tell that this is an outlier in terms of views, and so they sort of started switching to this Dr. Insanity style, like right here, like that was everything. So this is Dr. Insanity style, or not Dr. Insanity, sorry, JCS. I keep saying Dr. Insanity, but JCS style content again here, and this is sort of the marketing thing. So like for instance, this is an interrogation review video. This is similar to JCS, but it's more documentary. But then this one is last photos with disturbing backstories. This is just a compilation of photos with disturbing backstories, but it has that JCS style thing. Same with this one. I would bet my bottom dollar now. I would bet that this video isn't exactly interrogation review. It's more of a documentary, and it is a little less. Now, this is in fact interrogation analysis, psychological analysis, BA in psychology. So you're getting that appeal to authority. But this is definitely a JCS video. This is a 2-hour long video, 19 million views. That's crazy. I also, if you haven't noticed, they must have noticed their longer videos perform way better because of watch time. So now we have 1 mil, 2 mil, 2 mil, 3 mil, 2 mil, 1.57 mil. Like, what am I saying? 2 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours. But you get the point. They've also realized a lot of things, and this is a lot of trial and error for them. So yeah, you can say that this is nabbing JCS, right? And to a degree it is, but it's taking advantage of a content gap, applying things that work, but then also they've slowly sort of generated this concept, and this must have been a very big realization period of, okay, these style thumbnails do well, these style stories do well, and having much longer videos equals much more views because of watch time. They don't have to worry too much about the perfect quality of this video and the AVD of this video because watch time will carry. And then when you pair it with a very good concept and some pretty strong, compelling narrative throughout, you start getting these over 10 million videos that do extremely well. 2 million, 3 million, 2 million, 40 minutes. Again, we don't see a short video for a very long time. This is all JCS stuff. By like here, like it's just obvious, like it's literally purposely JCS. Like this "you're not a psychologist" thing. And I think honestly that was sort of the same thing 2 years ago, and then we have these like 2 to 1 year sort of border where he realized, okay, or where they realized, okay, this is what works. This video got 68 million views. This is what works. As you can see, they actually tried to change it, so they were getting these above 10 millers. And then they switched to a little bit different stuff. And the views actually started to go down. And then the second that they brought it back, it started to go to 7 mil again. This one looks a little different, and it's got 3 mil. Really, it's just an obvious marketing proof of concept. This marketing does well. So from that point forward, 90% of their videos are JCS style content because they just basically figured out that's what works. And yes, this is also, at this point, it's turned into a cash cow. So a cash cow is just, it's not like an authentic person in their bedroom doing something. This is a team of people. There's a voiceover, and it's made to make money. And that is exactly what this is. On what even is going on. Looking at the most popular videos, they're typically the most akin to who we're about to talk to about, which is Dr. Insanity, which is really interesting. So this person did JCS. Let me know, did the video essay sort of figuring out. JCS strive through this uncharted territory of these interrogation videos. By the way, with the reward of getting videos like 64 million because he was the first one, he sort of found this marketing jive. Then Explore With Us found it even further and sort of reinforced the concepts for other people, you know, making it easier. I still believe there's a content gap though, you know. We were getting these 27 million view videos. This video is getting 1,000 views an hour right now. There's probably still a bit of a content gap. That's ridiculous. There's obviously a content gap, even though there's a lot of saturation now. Explore With Us was not the only channel doing JCS content like this. Especially after the 64 million. This is when people realized, okay, this is a serious area to exploit. But Explore With Us found more things, you know. And then come Dr. Insanity. So Dr. Insanity, there are some unlisted videos. If we go to his playlists, we can find the first video, which I believe is let's see, it might be When Suspects Forget They're on Camera. Actually, it's not. It's probably Accidentally Confessing to Murder. I don't know. But this one is, okay, this one's 6 months ago, January 4th. So this is at the top of the year. It has 96,000 now. I'm sure it didn't do as well then. But Dr. Insanity, about the top of this year, began to upload videos. And by about this video, in fact, I don't think this is the first video for those to start popping off, and I'll show you soon. But by this video, they had achieved 21 million views. They had achieved this extremely good niche spot. And now if you look, they're about to hit 100 million views. And really, if you count when they started consistently uploading, which was about 3 months ago, they've almost earned 100 million views in about 3 months, which is just ludicrous. It's heinously ludicrous. It's wild. So why is this? These videos are better videos than JCS and Explore With Us. I actually closed the Explore With Us tab, but these videos are, that's basically it. They're better. They took the JCS style, the style thumbnails. They made them better. These are better. These concepts, they work in a better way. The videos themselves, they're more like Explore With Us.
So-called addict was Jeff Pearson, the man who committed the robbery.
It's just much more engaging, much more compelling. It's actually drawing a ton of inspiration from Sunny V2, which is great because Sunny V2 is sort of also picked up the JCS style thumbnails to a degree. Like if you look, they sort of feel a little JCS-y. Again, a realization from that 64 million view video, like this is probably a good idea. And JCS has, an 18 miller, 16 miller, 16, 13, and how many views? Almost 1 billion views. That is ridiculous. I did not know he had that many views, but yeah. It's just drawing a lot of inspiration from different things, combining it together and making the best video you can based on that information. And I think that's really the biggest thing here. And there's not really much to analyze. If you look, something actually that is interesting to analyze is if you look at these thumbnails, they're actually really stupid looking up close. So like if we look at this a suspect tries to flirt herself out of murder, and we look at this thumbnail up close, you can tell when we look up close, like her shirt is obviously like painted on, like it looks fake. You can see like lines, like it's obviously fake. And in fact, I see some like glitchy stuff going on. I wonder if they like added this like hair flip here, which would make sense. There's like a line right here that goes through the whole thing. In fact, some stuff like this looks a little fake. This is a really stupid looking thumbnail up close, but you zoom it out, and at first glance you don't really notice that. And this sort of tells me that most of the viewers on here are also probably on mobile devices because they're seeing these very in very small ways. Also, you look, this guy is actually wearing blue here, and this girl's wearing black. So they made this girl wear blue to contrast with this white, and they made this guy wear white to contrast with the blue. So just really simple thumbnail theory. Like they just wanted to make things contrast, which is very smart. Again, pretty much all of these are like that. All of these are enhancing like the colors of the shirts, and some of them are just so ridiculous. Like if we look at this cop killer one, um, first of all, I don't know who's looking at this besides pretty young people and thinking and not like realizing that it's stupid. But the whole thing is that it's at a glance. We zoom in on this thumbnail. What? This is hilarious. Like obviously his arm is like broken here. Um, this like gun doesn't make any sense. But you know what? Like in this tiny little view here, at first glance, looks good, looks chill, whatever. Um, we could look at some of their floppers, right? I think their biggest recent flopper would be this one right here. A father realizes his son is the murderer. And the reason why this flopped actually is because it was clickbait, I'm pretty sure. So if we open up Creator ML, actually, this might not have been clickbait. I don't know. But they have been changing the thumbnail a lot, probably because they think like, oh shoot, this is bad. They even changed the thumbnail to this, which I personally think is really bad. Like it just looks stupid. This one looks good. They actually recently must have changed their thumbnail to him looking up, which is it does change the vibe because it's less of him looking disappointed and knowing, and more of like he just realized, but he doesn't know. It's sort of a mid-action shot, which is better. But overanalyzing, this video probably did poorly because first of all, it's one of their shorter videos recently. Like they do have a fastest confessions of 3 mil. But it does seem like their shorter it's one of their shorter videos recently that probably factored into it a little, and it probably just wasn't the best video, honestly. And it's probably an overdone concept. They'd probably sort of squeezed out the like realizes they're the murderer concept. There's a lot of things that can be taken away from this. I would say that the biggest thing though is the content itself is probably poor. And then you have that pair with the poor watch time. Obviously, it's not going to do well. I think they are sort of trying to crack out the shell. So, like, this is, like, when suspects try to seduce cops. This one is body cam. So, these are, like, body cam videos. And then this is a fake cop realizes he's been arrested. This is also body cam. So, they are sort of trying to expand outside of that, which is great considering that there's only so much interrogation videos you can have. So, Dr. Insanity, though, insane. No pun intended. Let's look at this whatchamacallit, this niche though in the big losers right now. Or actually I did want to talk about True Crime Daily. These sort of videos like this, they've always had a proof of concept of doing well. True Crime Daily, 60 million, Chris Hansen, the GOAT, you know, but even like this, he goes missing, his wife marries his best friend who also wrote his life insurance, whatever. 23 million views 4 years. Jennifer Pan's Revenge, 21 mil. Like, these videos are 4 years ago. This video is 6 years ago. Grandma celebrates killing son-in-law. This actually, I think, is a JCS video. It's this video right here. Killer grandma celebrates after killing her son. By the way, doesn't make sense. Killer grandma kills son. I guess because it's a son-in-law, right? Anyway, regardless, it's always been a proven concept. There's another one here, A&E. And you know, 45 million. Let's see if we can find like an older video 4 years ago. 30 million. The tater tot fight. Yeah, it's just obviously there's always been high interest in this style of content. I just wanted to like say like really the biggest thing here is like, yes, there's a lot of competition. True crime is not a undersaturated niche on YouTube, but YouTube is not linear. There's not going to be like the true crime niche. What this sort of niche is here is it's sort of the interrogation niche. And these videos were poor. Even these like True Crime Daily videos, like look at these thumbnails. They're still bad. Yeah, they're still pretty bad. In fact, their best performers are these mid-action shots, and it's like they don't even collect that info. Because they're still doing these poor style thumbnails. People improved upon this. They knew it was good. JCS learned from his own experiences what does the best, and it's this sort of interest gap, right? That's obviously so high. That doesn't matter that there is a lot of saturation here. The interest there's just so much of a gap, and I still think there is probably a bit of a gap here. Now, will it be a lot more difficult to fill this gap considering that the saturation is now like this? Like the saturation is probably now the yay high, and so there's only this much of a gap to fill. Still, I do think that there is a gap. Um, so yeah, let's look at the big losers. This crack the case person has no views, no views, no views, no views, one view, no views, no views, one view, two views. And this is from 10 days ago. Pretty big loser. Why is this happening? Okay, first of all, every single one of these videos is a Dr. Insanity video. So we'll just get that out of the way, right? It's kind of a dumb idea to make the exact same video as somebody right when they posted it. It's been done before and it's done well. In this case and with this demographic, I think they're smart enough to where you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot with that situation. I think it's the first L that we're getting. These videos are very short. So I think the longest video is 13 minutes and like his recents are 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 8 minutes. And so it's like, okay, you can have these shorter videos over 8 minutes. Are these videos going to retain attention for those 8 minutes? Because that's shorter. It's under 10 minutes. So let's see.
On a fateful night, 12-year-old Daniel made a desperate call to the police.
So no, just just immediately, this video is bad. This video, the editing is poor. The voiceover is dog, and it just looks like a bunch of stock footage paired with maybe some, I don't know. Is this really even real interrogation? Let's see. I clicked. Who knows? But this is poor videos. Let's see where this. It doesn't even say. I want to see where this country was originated from because it might have been like a foreign country, and that's why it's poor to American audience. But regardless, and then even these thumbnails are not amazing. They're not great thumbnails by any means. Like this one's terrible. I guess they were trying to highlight the shirt here. Ex-cop arrested. You can't even see anything going on. But yeah, what they're trying to do is they're trying to literally bar for bar Dr. Insanity's success, and they're doing it in all the wrong ways. They didn't realize why Dr. Insanity and Explore With Us did well in the first place. Another big loser in police interrogations. This person started 2 weeks ago. Their most recent video has 40 views. That's great. I did actually look at their most recent, and again, the biggest thing is the poor quality. And then you have this paired with like a lot of these are either Dr. Insanity ideas or they're just bad ideas. Suspect tries to manipulate the detective but horribly fails. Like fake acting. Like it's just complicated. It's confusing. This one, you're sexy. This girl did try to do that. And so like it's like, yeah, this is a Dr. Insanity video. Whatever, it's good. It could be so much better. It's not really. You're not competing with the saturation in this. You're not making better videos than that. And so you're not going to see the success you think you're going to see. And again, even their 2-week-old video has 1 view. That's just heinous. And they have 1 subscriber. And this is obviously an automated. Let's see if they have an email address. I guess not. Grace William 38111. But this is automated. So yeah. That's sort of where I wanted to go with this niche to this extent, right? Why would you lose in this niche? I think you would lose, biggest reason you would lose in this niche, you're making short videos that can't hold retention for that long, because again, you can have a watch time carry video. You can have a video that's not amazing retention, amazing blah 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 blah. That's not a Mr. Beast retention level video, but it's a 2-hour long video, so the people that stay, they get hours and hours of watch time, and it's great. That's not what this is. The thumbnails and packaging, they're doing the wrong things. They're trying to replicate the packaging without understanding why it worked in the first place, and that's why they're sort of doing poorly. Their 40 view video, detective turns out to be criminal secret genius. This is still really bad. No wonder it has 40 views, right? Like you can't even analyze like, oh, this is their most viewed video because it has 40 views. Like there's no correlation there. Same thing with Crack the Case. Like why is this doing well? Just poor everything, and it's mainly not understanding the reason that these videos are doing poorly, because this person has been uploading for 10 days. We haven't seen a single amount of improvement, right? These are the same videos that they've always been. So that's the biggest thing, is if you want to fill in this gap right now, especially with, these are just 2 out of the hundreds of people that are trying to enter this niche with this sort of copycat deal, which is possible, which is very possible. You can make a lot of money doing this. These people are not. These people are not going to, unless they have a big flip in their content. So again, if we have our bar even all the way up here, um, to be able to fill this, right? We need to overcome this giant thing, right? We have to make better things to be able to fill that gap, and you can fill that gap. You can reach that gap, and it might even mean trying out different things that are not the same. Blah 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 blah. But all in all, in my opinion, in this niche research video that I'm posting mainly for my own enjoyment, I think Dr. Insanity is doing the right thing. I think Dr. Insanity will have a their views will sort of steady out. Right now they're insanely spiking because they found a gold mine, and I think what will happen is they'll start to sort of steady out into pretty well performing. And I may be wrong; they may continue to innovate. We are seeing slight innovation through them, even in the just a couple of months that they've been consistently uploading. But JCS, what will we see of them? Who knows? They complain a lot. For instance, I think this video got demonetized for a bit, and I think they were just like, I don't even want to make videos anymore if we're gonna get demonetized. JCS is too raw, too authentic, too emotional in their stuff. You know, Dr. Insanity, they get demonetized. Whatever. This is for cash cow, so they'll just not do it the next time because they know it will make them money. You know, Let Me Know is sort of like a JCS of just passion for the videos themselves, and he does pretty well. But that's about it, and I appreciate the watch. Thank you.